Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now once upon a time, before dual core processors became the norm, there was a time when single core CPUs were the only option. Old school Pentium 4s, Athlons etc. were commonplace, but were soon forgotten about once both AMD and Intel started introducing more cores. These days you won't find single core CPUs anymore because, let's be honest, they are obsolete, and to buy one for anything other than simple tasks like web browsing wouldn't be a good idea. Even the cheapest CPUs have 2 or more cores, even if they are still considered weak. But today I thought we'd take a look at where it ended, the last desktop CPU ever, to the absolute best of my knowledge and research, ever made. The AMD Sempron 150. You may be more familiar with the 145 because the 150 was only ever OEM produced, meaning it shipped already as part of a desktop PC, and buying one separately would be costly due to manufacturers calling it a replacement part. However, since its initial release of December 2010, the 150 can be found on rare occasions on eBay, perhaps because the PC it once belonged to was broken up and sold as separate components. That's exactly where we found ours. So the AMD Sempron 150 is clocked at 2.9 GHz and has 1 core and 1 thread. It has no integrated graphics and operates at 45 watts, making it ideal for low power or office systems. Now, much like its little brother, the 145, it has a locked core that can in some cases be unlocked to turn this into a dual core processor. But stability and success isn't always guaranteed. Unfortunately, ours wasn't one of these, but I'm kind of glad, because this one core wonder is going to be put through its paces in its completely original state and paired with the Radeon R7 370 to test out its gaming performance. Now, it was only fair to start off with a few light games to break this thing in a little bit. I should tell you that we tried to run MSI Afterburner alongside these games, but there was tremendous slowdown inflicted on all games. I can tell you that, as you would expect, the Sempron 150 was at 100% load almost all of the time. This was to be expected. First up, we've got Minecraft, 720p and 5 chunks render distance with the fast settings. Gets us 25 FPS most of the time. It's actually quite unbelievable how much this Sempron holds us back, although this isn't too unexpected. Actually, this is similar in performance to a Pentium D when it comes to gaming. Perhaps this is up to 10% faster though, depending of course on the speed of the Pentium. Now, a new game to add to our collection, Left 4 Dead 2. And here with 720p and medium settings, we get a nice 58 frames per second on average, with frame rates dropping to high 20s if there's a lot of action going on. It's definitely playable though, and I wouldn't have trouble playing it with a system like this for long periods of time, though if you have a system like this, then it's probably time to upgrade. Next up, we've got Skyrim, gracing us with 40 frames per second at wonderful 720p and medium settings. Again, there is some slowdown to around the mid-20s, but out in the open amongst the flora, we see a rise to high 40s, maybe a touch on 50s if you're lucky. Now, finally, we have Dirt Rally. We cranked things bravely up to 1080p with the settings as low as they could go, and somehow managed to average close to 30 frames per second, though frame drops did occur, though far and few between. I'm quite impressed with this one, so if you're a Dirt Rally fan with a system like this, then have at it. On a more serious note, you'll notice a lack of newer titles here like GTA, Fallout etc. because the single core CPU simply refused us access, or if we did manage to avoid freezing, we would be presented with horrible game altering glitches like missing textures, floating objects, and it was just messy to be honest. But again, this was to be expected due to our single core setup. I've had a lot of fun taking a look back at this, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it as well. These CPUs can be bought very cheaply, but please don't buy one. In fact, you can find much better CPUs for very similar prices, ones with 2 cores that would happily play these games a lot smoother. I think it goes to show that the days of 1-core gaming have officially gone, and it makes you wonder just how long it will be before dual cores are no longer able to keep up either. So again guys, thank you so much for watching. Like or dislike the video depending on how you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for 30,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And as always, I will see you in the next one.